Joining us now to discuss the IPO window in general and this pipeline is Matt McIlwain, Managing Director at Madrona. And Matt, it's great to have you back on the show. And let's start right there, because we have 4 IPO offerings this week. We're starting to see this bubbling up of SPACs as well. And then we know we have more waiting in the wings through the rest of summer, I should say. Do you see this as a moment where the floodgates are finally perhaps opening?
Well, I wouldn't quite call it floodgates, but I do think that we're seeing a good opening here, and we're seeing it both on the crypto side, as you point out, as well as on the broader technology side. I happen to favor a little bit more of the broader technology companies, Figma in particular, but, BitGo, bullish, some of these companies that are coming soon. It's certainly an up market with some of the regulation certainty coming into place around crypto. And so I think there's good reason for some of those companies, especially off of how Circle traded in, just 6 months or 6 weeks after it went public, for those folks to be going now.
Okay. To go back to Figma specifically, how much of a test will that name be for more growthy tech and specifically AI-oriented names to come to market here?
I mean, you couldn't pick a better company, tons of customer diversification, 820 million in trailing 12 months revenue, about 50% growth over the last 12. And I think expectations that it'll be at least in the mid 30s, if not higher, 90% gross margins, cash flow generating. I mean, this is the perfect company on the more pure tech side to be able to go public and open the doors for some more companies in the fall timeframe. So love the Figma story. Incredible what they've done, especially given the unsuccessful merger with Adobe. Those can be really tough on the culture of a company. And so give Dylan and his whole team an incredible amount of credit. And the one other thing I would add is while they are not a AI native company, they've done a good job, and probably better job than most, of incorporating AI capabilities into Figma. So you can go from Figma design to produced end product on an end-to-end basis. And that's impressive as well.
Now, you mentioned crypto, and certainly we're starting to see a flurry of these crypto-related names file to go public. We're also seeing space and defense tech names. Some of these, what I would call maybe more frontier tech areas of the market and emerging areas of technology. Do you think we start to see more of that in this environment, given how successful so many of these debuts have been?
I think so. I mean, I wrote a piece back in January expecting that this was going to be much more of a risk-on year. And for a while, it looked wrong. And part of the reason it looked wrong was because we had more tailwinds on tariffs. We had a lot of uncertainty around Doge. We even had uncertainty around tax policy. And while we still have questions to ask about tariffs, and we still have things like a massive deficit, a lot of those other areas have become more certain and predictable. And not only that, but especially with the passing of the so-called Big Beautiful Bill, you've got a bunch of investment in areas like defense. And so I think that becomes a tailwind for defense-related companies to go public. I think also the bills, now the stablecoin bill being passed, are a tailwind for the crypto sector. And then you pile on top of that the very, very strong. I mean, Circle's up almost 6x since it went public in early June. It's got an over $50 billion market cap. And there are a lot of things I'm cautious about in the crypto space. But with that kind of performance, I think you're going to see others try to hurry up and hit this window.
How about for the companies that are already public? We're really seeing the ramp up of earnings season for tech start this week. What are you watching for?
Oh, I think it's going to be a fascinating time. And if we talk about big tech, I think it's going to be the growing dispersion of performance in big tech. I was on your show this week last year and was more bullish on Microsoft and Amazon and more skeptical about Apple. I was, again, a little bit wrong in the short term. But if you look back at the last 12 months, Amazon is up 25%, Microsoft's up 15%, Apple's down 5%. And I think that's a continuing trend in the dispersion between those 3 companies and how they're going to perform. I think the most interesting uncertain one, and the one that's actually trading at the lowest PE multiple, is Google. They're trading around 20 times PE. Those other ones are all up and around the 30 times PE zone. And I think there's some bull case and some bear case on Google, but that's the trickiest one to guess on. But sadly, I think Apple's really got a challenge.